Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Living on Campus presentation. My name is Tyler Rush. I am a senior here at the University of Kentucky, double majoring in business management and marketing, and I'm an ambassador for Living on Campus. And what that means is I'm going to communicate these three components to you: campus housing, dining, and residence life. There's a lot of information about all three of the components. You're obviously not expected to memorize them. This presentation will be on this website for you to come back to and refer to later on. And all this information is also on the UK Housing website as well. But the first thing that I want to talk to you about are the benefits to living on campus. I was a student, well, I'm still a student, and I can tell you from my experience that living on campus provides you a lot of benefits. The first one, living learning programs. These are basically opportunities for you to learn both inside and outside of the classroom. Now, there's a section on living learning programs a little bit later on, so I'll go in more depth about them in a minute. Academic support. UK wants you to have academic success. That's why you're here. So they have laid out so many resources for you on campus to achieve that. For example, every single department on campus, from engineering to education to arts and sciences, all have their own tutoring department within. And you can go and get tutored on your homework or help preparing for exams by students that have taken those classes before. There's also a resource on campus called The Study. And The Study is more of a generalized tutoring system located on all three parts of campus in North, Central, and South. And there's students that have gotten A's or B's in classes that you will be taking your first 2 years here. These are classes like Intro to Psychology or Intro to Biology or other introductory classes, as well as UK Core. You can get tutored on your homework, and they also have common hour review sessions for exams in these first year classes. Professionally trained live-in staff. Every single residence hall has staff that's professionally trained, and your very first point of contact is going to be your resident advisor. These resident advisors will meet with you one-on-one every single month of the year just to check in and make sure you're doing okay, make sure your classes are going okay. They're also going to talk to you about opportunities that may be coming up or events that may be coming up on campus. There's also your resident directors who live in the halls 24/7. They are adults that have master's degrees, and they're there just to make sure that the halls are operating as smoothly as possible. And then last but not least, you have the front desk staff. These people monitor the buildings 24/7, including overnight, and they're also there to check in your guests as you bring them. Your wildcard ID. I call this the powerhouse of campus. It will get you into pretty much anything on campus. It will get you into your room, your residence hall, the staircases, the elevators. You need it when you take exams. It'll get you into the dining halls. You use it to pay with Flex. So it does a lot of things for you. Great food options outside your door. As soon as you walk outside your residence hall, there are limitless possibilities for what you can eat. But UK dining is going to be touched on a little bit later, so we'll talk about it then. Lifelong friendships. This specific bullet point here is really important to me, and it hits kind of close to home. So I do want to tell you a little story about my experience with the friendships aspect. So I actually transferred to UK my sophomore year, and even though I'm from Kentucky, I didn't really know anybody coming to UK. So on the housing application, I indicated that I wanted a random roommate. On the application, there's a questionnaire that asks you about your living habits, like, are you neat? Are you tidy? Are you messy? What time do you go to bed? What time do you wake up in the morning? And it also asks you a little bit about your interests. There, I put that I wanted to get involved in music. I didn't want to pursue it as a career, but I wanted to get involved. And so when I met my roommate that year, he wanted the exact same thing. And it really surprised me how closely they matched us. But a week or two after classes started, we went out and we joined choirs and a cappella groups and other organizations, and we performed and we became best friends. And it's 2020. 3 years later, and he's still my best friend. And I'm telling you that because every single one of you listening to this presentation right now is going to have an experience like that. Living on campus grants you friendships for a lifetime. And then there's always something going on. Here are some events that campus housing puts on throughout the year. There are hundreds of student organizations on campus as well that put on events. So every single day there is something to do. On the top left, you have Up Up in UK, which is a hot air balloon festival. On the bottom left, you have Backyard Bash, which is a concert series that housing puts on throughout the year. They bring in relevant artists at the time. Last year, they brought in Danielle Bradbury, who won The Voice a few seasons back. The top right is Resident Appreciation Days. So throughout the year, they'll hold little events for the residents just to kind of appreciate you living on campus. And then the bottom right is Woodland Wonderland. It's a winter event. So they have ice skating rink and hot chocolate, and you can make your own blankets. They have music. It's a lot of fun. Moving to the more academic part, UK is a research institution. So it shouldn't come as a surprise that they did research on literally everybody and everything. So it also shouldn't come as a surprise that they did research on the students and how living on campus affected their retention rates. These are the 3 things it showed. You adjust better to college life, you have greater academic success, and you have higher GPAs. But if you don't believe us, we made a graph. The bottom line on this graph is the retention rate for the students that lived off campus. The middle line was the retention rate for those that lived on campus. And then the top line was for living learning program students who also have an average GPA of a 3.24. I've talked about living learning programs a lot, so we're going to dive into that subject a little more. Like I mentioned, they are opportunities for you to learn in and outside of the classroom. When you get here, 14 living learning program communities. They range from academic-based, honors-based, to interest-based. And I'll go through those 14 a little bit later on. But basically, they provide you in-hall support. You're going to be living with people that are in your same program. You're going to be taking the same classes with these people. You kind of complete a cohort in your major. So it's really convenient, and we'll talk about more of the benefits as well. But one of the things I want to stress the most is even if you haven't received your LLP offer yet, it's important that you participate in room selection. Room selection for LLP students will open on March 9th. Here are the 14 programs that we offer. So like I mentioned, there are some academic-based ones like agriculture, business enterprise, honors, and then some interest-based ones like creative arts and leadership and service. And those will help you get involved in the community. These are some testimonials of what students have had to say about their experience in living learning programs. It improved their academic performance. It made it easier to adjust to college life. Helped you get involved on campus. And you can read the rest of these. They're all positive experiences. Some of the benefits. Like I mentioned before, you do get to live in a specific residence hall, all on the same floor and in the same rooms with people that are going to be in your program or similar majors as you. You get to participate in LLP classes. One of the things that I like to talk about being in a living learning program is, you know, as a new student in college, you may have a fear that you're going to go into these classes not knowing who you're going to sit with or who you're going to study with. But when you join a living learning program, before classes even start, you know who those people are. You have formed these study groups. So it's really convenient and it takes that weight off of your shoulders. You're also going to be assigned a peer mentor. And these peer mentors have been in these programs before. They have taken the classes that you're going to be taking. And so they're going to provide you with support throughout that process. They're also going to help you with connections with the faculty and staff on campus and any opportunities that may arise. The peer mentors will also coordinate some events for you to kind of get you immersed into your field right off the bat. For example, if you're interested in the healthcare LLP, they took those students to the VA hospital here at UK, and they got to shadow surgeons perform suturing techniques on their patients. To apply to be in a living learning program, it's very easy to do. It's part of the UK housing application, and you have until June 1st to apply. Basically, it's just going to have 3 sections where you're going to choose your top 3 choices for living learning programs, and then on a rolling basis, they will send out their admittance. Now we're going to dive deeper into the campus housing part. This is going to talk about the different residence halls of campus, how campus is divided into 2 sections, and what are some places that you're close to on both sides to give you kind of an idea of where you might want to live. To be on campus, to live here, you have one requirement, and that is just to be a student. You can be a new student, you can be a returning student, or you can even be a transfer like me and you can live on campus. But our residence halls are no older than 14 years, and they have all the amenities you need to make sure you're living as comfortable as possible. This includes air conditioning, elevators, carpeted bedrooms. The buildings are co-ed, you have high-speed internet and sprinkler systems, and every single residence hall has a laundry room. They all also have a community kitchen, which has a stove, a microwave, a refrigerator, an ice machine, and you can even check out kitchen supplies at the front desk with your student ID if you didn't bring any. So this is pots and pans and spatulas and spoons, anything you need to cook. Every single floor of every single residence hall also has study areas. So if you're like me and you don't like to leave the building to study, but you don't want to study in your room, you just go right down the hall to a study area. Like I said before, campus is kind of divided into 2 sections. The top half of this campus map is North Campus, and then the bottom half is Central Campus. The buildings in blue are your residence halls, and the buildings in green are your dining facilities. It kind of looks like there's an equal amount of both, but I promise there are double, if not triple, the amount of dining facilities on campus than there are residence halls. You will never go hungry. The first neighborhood that I want to dive into, though, is North Neighborhood. And this includes about 6 residence halls. So I lived in Blazer. Boyd is kind of special. It is for returning students only. And I'll tell you why. UK noticed an increase in the number of students coming back to live on campus their sophomore, junior, and senior year. So to incentivize that, they basically gave those students their own residence hall for upperclassmen only. So every year after this year, you can live in Boyd Hall if you'd like. Some of the dining facilities on North Campus are listed here. Very popular ones like Chick-fil-A and Auntie Anne's, Subway, Panda Express. Champion's Kitchen is located in the Gatton Student Center. This is the all-you-care-to-eat dining facility on North Campus. So this is what you'll use your meal swipes on. My personal favorite on North Campus was Common Grounds Coffee House. This is a local coffee shop to Lexington that has a location on campus. They have really good coffee. They have some unique coffees that I really suggest you try, and they have good food. So I just like to put that plug in here for any student coming to UK to try that restaurant out while you're here. Some of the places you're close to on North Campus. The furthest one on this list is maybe a 15-minute walk, but the Gatton Student Center opened up about 2 summers ago. This is an incredible space. And there are a lot of venues in here that students like to go to study, to hang out, and to enjoy events. For example, Worsham Cinema is located in here. It is a 4K Dolby Atmos surround sound theater, the only one like it in the state of Kentucky. They also have a film series where they show free movies to students and the public every Wednesday through Saturday. They offer free popcorn as you go in, and they don't have a food and drink policy from the outside. So you don't have to hide your snacks in your mom's purse anymore. Really nice. There's also Cat's Den, which is located on the bottom floor of the Student Center. They have programming every single day of the week, from trivia to comedy nights to open mic to karaoke to concerts. They do everything. And Cat's Den is also a great place for students to go and hang out and study. The bookstore is also located in the Student Center, and we'll touch on that. Downtown Lexington and Rupp Arena, like I mentioned, is about a 15-minute walk. If you're interested in attending any of the UK basketball games, you can walk to Rupp Arena in about 15 minutes and not have to worry about parking. The UK Bookstore and Cafe. This is the most phenomenal bookstore I personally have ever seen. It's 35,000 square feet covering 2 floors. The bottom floor is the Starbucks Cafe and the licensed Nike store. So this has all the UK apparel and merchandise. And then if you go up the escalators to the top floor, you're going to get to the Apple Technology store. So they offer Apple products and Windows products. They have accessories and all the electronics you'll need up there. And that's also where the Barnes & Noble part of the store is. They have 50,000 volumes of textbooks, and there's a general reading department. So if you want to read something other than your textbook, you can do that. The bookstore has partnered with the university to make it very easy for students to purchase their textbooks online. On My UK, if you haven't been there yet, you will. Once you register for classes, there will be a button at the top right that says Buy Books, and it does probably exactly what you're thinking. It will list the books or the supplies for all the classes that you've registered for. All you have to do is go through and select which ones you would like to purchase, enter your payment info, and complete your order. And it's as simple as that. Now we're going to move towards the other side of campus, considered Central Neighborhood. This one has about 14 residence halls. This also includes the Academic Honor Squad and the Woodland Glen Courtyard. University Flats is also located here, and this is also for returning students only, just like Boyd Hall on North Campus. So once you're a sophomore, junior, or senior, you can live here. Some of the dining facilities offered to you on Central Campus, very popular ones like Papa John's and Taco Bell, Freshie, Rising Roll, Chick-fil-A, Subway, all the common ones. The Starbucks on this side of campus is actually the largest Starbucks in the state of Kentucky, and it's the third largest campus Starbucks in the country. It is massive, and it's in the William T. Young Library. That library is pictured here. If you go on a campus tour, you'll be able to see this. But some of the places you're close to on Central Campus are the Fresh Food Company at the 90. This is the all-you-care-to-eat dining facility for Central Campus. The Jacobs Academic Science Building. This is a great building where the STEM classes are held. So if you are going to be in a science, technology, engineering, or mathematics major, you will probably have a lot of classes here. Central Campus will be perfect for you to live. The William T. Young Library, like I mentioned, is a great resource for you to go and hang out and study, meet with your groups. There's also a lot of resources in the basement of the library called The Hub. They have graphic design, video and audio production suites, they have printing services, anything you need for help in your classes, you can find there. The Johnson Center is a Central Campus gym. There is one on North Campus that I didn't mention. It's called Alumni Gym, but don't let the name fool you. It's not just for alumni, it's for students as well. Kroger Field is the home to the UK football team. If you're interested in going to any of the football games, you can walk to Kroger Field in about 15 minutes. UK Medical Center is also located on Central Campus. I know a lot of you listening are probably interested in going into the healthcare field. So if you live on Central Campus, you're going to be just a few minutes walk away from the medical complex. Now we're going to get a closer look at the inside of these residence halls, your rooms. We have several different room types we offer, and we'll go through them now. The first type we offer is a 4-person suite. Basically how this is laid out is you have 2 beds per room, and then 2 rooms sharing 1 bathroom. They also have closet space, they have desks, and they have dressers, microwaves, and refrigerators. This specific one is on Central Campus only in Baldwin, Ingalls, and Smith. And there's another 4-person suite on Central Campus in the Academic Honor Squad. It's laid out just a little bit differently, but the same concept. 2 beds per room, 2 rooms sharing a bathroom. Both of these types have twin XL memory foam mattresses. They have microwaves and refrigerators, so you don't have to bring those. The next type we offer is a 2-bedroom suite, the most common type we offer on campus. Basically, it's 2 private bedrooms sharing a common area and a bathroom. This one features full XL memory foam mattresses, a microwave, and a refrigerator. And then there's also a 4-bedroom suite. This one is 4 private bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. It has a larger living room and a kitchenette. This specific one is on North Campus only, in Blazer and Boyd halls. Full XL memory foam mattresses, a microwave, and this one has a full-size refrigerator to accommodate the 4 people. Now we're moving on to my favorite part about the presentation, the food. One of the things is regardless of where you're at on campus, you are never more than a 3-minute walk to a UK dining facility. This is extremely convenient, and I'll talk about why in a minute. Here's an overview of all the different dining facilities we've discussed so far, in case you forgot. And here are the 5 components to your dining plans. And I'm not going to read through all of these in depth, but I want to talk to you about how they've applied to me personally as a student and how they'll apply to you. The convenience and flexibility part of the dining plans. Most of you will probably have an 8 a.m. class at some point in your college career. You'll also probably have to take a common hour exam that lets out at, say, 10:30 at night. UK Dining has made their facilities open from as early as 7 a.m. to as late as midnight. You will always have a place to eat in the hours of operation. It's also convenient because if you're like me and you schedule your classes back to back, or you have 10 or 15 minutes between them, you will still have time to go from one class to get food and go to your next class in that little time. It seems impossible, but I promise you as a student, you are able to do it. The quality and value aspect of it. UK Dining wants you to have the best bang for your buck. So anything you want to eat on campus, whatever you're craving at the time, you can find it somewhere. Healthy and sustainable. There are sections in both of the dining halls for students that have dietary restrictions, or say you're a vegetarian, or you're a vegan, or pescatarian. They have sections for you. There's also a section where the food is made without exposure to many of the common allergens. So if you have food allergies, you can eat there and not have to worry about being exposed. There's also a resource for those students that have dietary restrictions and food allergens. Namely, dietitian and nutritionist, and this is her contact information. So if you want help building a dining plan around any of these restrictions or food allergies, she is more than happy to help you with that. When you sign up for your dining plan, you're going to get 2 things. You're going to get meal swipes, which will be used at the Fresh Food Company and Champion's Kitchen. Basically, how it works is you just swipe your ID, you go in, eat as much as you want, leave, and then you can swipe again as long as there's 30 minutes between. You're also going to get Flex Dollars if it comes with your plan. How that works is, say for example, you get $400 in Flex at the start of the semester. You can use those Flex Dollars at any of the restaurants on campus. You can also use them at the Wildcat Pantries, which are kind of like a grocery store. At the end of the semester, whatever Flex you have left will roll over to the next. However, Flex Dollars do not roll over from year to year. So just keep in mind of that at the end of the spring semester. When you get off of this presentation, if you have not applied for housing or the living learning programs, it is time to do so. Here are some important dates you may want to remember. As of right now, if you haven't applied for housing or the living learning programs, you will be on the regular decision track. Most of the early action track deadlines have passed, but you still have until June 1st to apply. If you're in a living learning program, you will select your room starting March 9th. Regular decision track students will select their room starting June 22nd. If you apply for your living learning program, you should receive an acceptance if you were accepted by June 12th. And then you have until July 22nd to choose your dining plan. There are more dates on the housing and dining contract, and that is located on the housing application as well as the housing website. And that link will be provided on this web page. Once you've applied for housing and the living learning programs, make sure you've chosen a dining plan. Then you're going to wait and you'll receive a time slot for you to go online and select your room. You also have to have a vaccination record. All you have to do is take a picture of that record and send it to University Health Services. And then you also want to make sure that you have set up your university email. All UK correspondence will start going to that email once it is set up. Fall move-in. This was easily one of my favorite events as a college student. Moving in is one of the most exciting times. It's new, it's fresh, and you're starting your academic career in college. And it's never too early to prepare for fall move-in, even though this may be a few months away. So we will have assisted move-in dates. And what I mean by that is UK Housing has hundreds of volunteers out on the streets, ready to get you where you need to be, help you unload your vehicles, and get your stuff into your room. The fall move-in dates will be posted on the housing website, and the week of August 1st, you will receive more information in your student email. At orientation, we will have a few flyers. One of these flyers has more information about move-in day. So it has packing tips. Pictured here is how we want you to pack. Pack your stuff in plastic bins or boxes or anything where your materials are not falling out. It'll also have more information about the maps and the directions on how to get to campus. It will have information about your hall code card. Basically, this is a card that has an abbreviation of your residence hall. When you come to campus, you can show that card to any of the traffic control officers on the street, and they'll be able to direct you to exactly where you need to go. It'll also have info about parking and shuttles. On the other side of that flyer is a next steps handout. So it's going to tell you everything you need to do after orientation. So it's going to tell you about your dining plan, your move-in date, how to make a move-in appointment, and it's also just going to urge you to check your university email. The other flyer we have has what to bring and what not to bring. So it's going to have a packing list for your convenience, what linen sizes you'll need to purchase for each residence hall, and then some of the things we really trust you to not bring, a refrigerator or a microwave. But you have reached the end of the Living on Campus presentation. Feel free to go back and rewind if there's anything that you've missed or you want to hear again. And this presentation will be here for your convenience if you ever want to come back to it. All of our information is on the housing website as well, or feel free to contact us at any of these cards listed here: housing, residence life, or dining. Again, my name was Tyler Rush. Really appreciate you listening to me, and welcome to UK. Welcome Wildcats. And remember, everything at the University of Kentucky is wildly possible.